welcome to another episode of Creeps, Creatures, and Haunts.
That was terrifying. My God. Hey.
Did you get a little spook?
That was a whole lot of spook.
A whole lot of spook?
There. Oh my goodness.
Mm.
Okay.
You need to say "oh my" now, though.
Oh my.
There you go. Okay. Yeah. Well, if this is your first ever episode listening to this or watching, yeah, usually I say, welcome to Creeps, Creatures, or Haunts, and then,
Oh my.
and I don't, scare her. This is, the third video we're filming. The first one is, an hour long, so it's almost midnight. I don't even know what time it is. That's only 11.
It's not.
It's 11.
Yeah, it's close.
But anyways, welcome to our Haunted Doll series. If you missed the first episode in the series, we talked about...
Shame on you.
Yeah, shame on you for one. And for two, we talked about Annabelle the doll. And you should go back and watch/listen to it. Because again, this is our podcast. It's on YouTube and it's also a podcast. So it's on pretty much all podcast platforms. If it's not on whatever you listen to, let me know and I'll put it on there. But it should be on pretty much all of them by now. So yeah. So if you don't want to look at our faces, you can just listen to our faces making noises.
Why would you want to look at this?
Don't do that. Yeah. Why wouldn't you? We're so pretty. If you think we're really pretty and want to help us out, we have a Patreon you can go check out.
No.
And that helps us out a lot. You should go check that out because, we have some perks and it's pretty cool. And thanks for the people that are patrons. That you're pretty awesome. We think you're pretty cool guys. Today, we're going to be talking about Robert the doll, though. Who I find quite a bit more interesting than Annabelle. Now, I do think that we had some good discussions about Annabelle and the Warrens and some other stuff in that episode, so if you can listen to it, but Annabelle's story was kind of mute, where Robert, I feel like, is a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
And Kim actually got to visit Robert the doll. It's been, how long ago has it been? It's been a while, right?
It's been a few years.
It's been a few years.
Yeah. I actually got to see him... my friends, I got to see him twice, but, my friends got married down in Key West, and so I went down to, the museum. He's at, East Martello Museum, I think that's how you say it. He's at this old fort that's down there, and it's actually it's kind of off the beaten path, Key West is set up so there's these free buses that you take, and it just drops you off, and then they're okay, in 15 minutes there should be another bus, and so you kind of you can kind of time it and stuff like that. But yeah, I had to take this bus for quite a bit to get down to this fort to go visit Robert. And there's a bunch of other artifacts inside this museum, but of course the most famous thing is Robert the doll. Yeah, it was really weird. It was really weird. I mean, the sense in there was really strange, and it was just kind of it was really, and it's strange because he actually used to be in a house, but because the house didn't really want him anymore, they gave him to the museum instead.
Yeah. So, I guess that leads right into it. If you want to, kind of lead us off here and we can kind of talk about origins of Robert the doll, and then we can also talk a little bit more about your visit.
Okay. So Robert the doll was a gift to Eugene Otto, who
for Robert Eugene Otto. His first name was Robert, right?
Actually, his first name is Eugene, and it's Eugene Robert.
Oh, Otto. Eugene Robert Otto.
Yeah,
That happens a lot when people do that shit.
Yeah.
My dad does that. I didn't know my dad's first name till I was 10. Someone called him William, and I'm like, who's that? And they're like, that's your dad. I'm like, my dad's name's Dan. And he's like, that's my middle name. And I'm like, excuse you? It's a real popular thing. My middle name's Dan. I don't go by that. I go by Josh. Weird.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Possessed dolls or some shit? I don't know. Let's continue.
Robert. Okay, so he was a gift from a servant who may or may not be dabbling in the occult.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well.
No.
Yeah.
It's never good.
So Jean really liked the doll, and they were inseparable. And so much so that, like, if bad things happened, like glass broke or something fell off a shelf or something like that, Jean would blame Robert, and most famously say, Robert did it. They actually have bumper stickers at the museum, just to let you know.
That's cool. That's
Robert
a good
did
way.
it.
That's a funny way to capitalize
Oh,
on
yeah.
your haunted doll.
Robert did it. The family claimed that the doll would move. They would find it in, it would be in the son's room, and then they would leave, come back, and it would be sitting in the living room. Nobody was home.
Cool.
Where did this doll, how did this doll get there?
They I can tell you how. He went there.
He yeeted himself up and went.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a creepy doll made of straw. Here I go. Like,
if you've not seen Robert, believe me, he's
there will be
not
pictures
the
towards the
cutest
end.
doll in the world.
When Kim talks about her experience, I will have her pictures inserted.
Yeah,
you gotta wait for that shit.
I mean, the sailor suit.
Unless you're listening to the podcast.
Yeah, the sailor suit doesn't help. Not at all. So they said that when Robert and Jean were alone in Jean's room, they could hear Jean talking to the doll, and they would hear a response in a totally different voice from Robert.
There's not been a good movie based. I know there has been movies about Robert the Doll, but there has not been a good movie.
Like, very loosely based.
Very
on
loosely,
it.
But I feel like there could be a movie,
yeah.
especially in the Annabelle one. Obviously we talk about, and it's pretty well known that it's not actually what looks like the movie. It's a Raggedy Ann doll. They can make this thing look like what he looks like.
Oh yeah. They
can make him look like what he looks like, and it's fine because ew.
Yeah.
Not the worst doll that we're going to talk about, because just you wait. Just you wait. There's some real nasties coming up, but he creepy.
Yeah.
He a creepy boy.
He is a creepy boy. So when Jean's parents passed away, Jean and his wife moved into their house. And, of course, when Robert left home and grew up and got married and stuff like that, or I'm sorry, when Jean grew up and got married and whatnot, Robert went with him. Yeah, his wife wasn't too happy about that. Jean's wife did not like the doll and asked for the doll to be put in the attic. Jean put him up in the attic, but then a little bit later, he heard the neighborhood kids going, "Hey, look at the doll up in the bedroom window, the upstairs bedroom window." And he's like, "What are you talking about? It's in the attic. It's not there." Sure enough, who's sitting up in that upstairs bedroom window? Yeah, Robert. Robert did it.
Why would you keep it?
I know, right?
No, absolutely. I mean, he would probably come back, but
he probably
not.
would.
Like, give him to the Warrens. Let them lock it up with Annabelle. Like, let him have fun. They can have weird. They can play I don't know, demonic poker in their little box or something together. Do not.
Could you imagine? Oh my god! They just put a deck of cards in there. We're like, have at it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, give them chess or something. Really make the little demon brains work.
That'd be fun. That'd be really cool. That'd be a really cool experiment.
Just come in and the little things move. Yeah. Put your haunted dolls together. They literally just turn into a Chucky movie. They're just wait a minute. With our combined forces, they're like Power Rangers. They
Wonder Twins.
Yeah, they do that, and now they're just a super demon doll, dude. I'm looking up in the shadows, and for a split second, there's this loop thing that's up there, and it looked like a Raggedy Ann doll head, and I'm just I am tired, and I'm seeing things, and
oh my gosh,
I'm going to have nightmares tonight because we've been sitting here looking up and talking about haunted shit dolls, for hours now, and anyways, continue with this monstrosity.
So of course, Robert moving from the attic down to the bedroom happened numerous times. After Jean's death, the doll was given to the East Montello Fort instead of staying in the house, which was, I think it was called the Artist House, I think was the name of the house that Jean lived in. It is a museum now, but they did not want the doll at all. So they gave it to this fort. And according to staff and visitors, Robert still does move and cause mischief. One of the main things he does is he fucks around with your cameras and your life if you don't ask him for permission to take his photograph.
Mm-hmm.
They actually have warnings, and they will tell you this when when you go in there. They're like, if you want to get a picture of Robert, we highly suggest you ask for permission. Not from them, from the doll. I did. I actually went, hey, Robert, can I take your photograph? And I took a couple of photographs of him. And I thanked him afterwards, too, because I wasn't taking any chances. Because if you notice in the photographs, there's actually papers in his little case strewn about. And they are actually apology letters to Robert for not asking for his permission to take his photograph. People have had bad luck almost immediately after taking his photograph. Go as far as the photo doesn't come out. It's just a blurry
I've heard that
mess.
a lot too, that like if you don't ask, it won't even appear.
It won't even appear. It'll be a black picture.
Like it used to be like developed, but obviously that's not really a thing nowadays.
Yeah.
It's mostly going to be cell phone, but back in the days when you had like snap and shoots, you wouldn't know what you got. And then like, and I'm sure some of it came because like those cameras were real bad quality and you buy them like $5 at, Walmart, Walgreens, then you just take it, give it to them, they develop. Like you can't actually see what you're doing and photos wouldn't come out. So, yeah. Now, if you're taking on like a higher end smartphone and randomly your photos are blurry, then that's kind of weird because that doesn't really happen often.
Right. Well, like people would take them on digital cameras and they would still have bad photos. They would also have like flights canceled, luggage lost, cars break down, things on their anything and everything you could think of on their vacation, because most people are going to Key West for vacation.
Right. Yeah.
Things would happen. Bad luck would happen, and it wouldn't end until they would send that apology letter and say, I'm sorry, Robert, for taking your picture and not asking you to take your picture. And then everything would be fine. As soon as that letter appeared.
But one of the things too that I kind of saw that his wife Annette, that the doll actually might be the reason that some people believe that she might have like passed away. They're just rumors, obviously, but alleging that she died from insanity after locking Robert back in the attic. So once they moved back, she locked him in the attic, while others claimed that Jean died with Robert at his side. What we do know is that Jean passed away in 1974 and his wife died 2 years later. So basically, it's claiming that after Jean died, she locked Robert back up in the attic and he made her go crazy because she locked him away again.
Yeah.
So that's
one of the things they said, that like when he was up in the attic, they would hear footprints, like footsteps. Upstairs.
Yeah, this thing really likes to move around. And wasn't there something about like seeing like scuff marks on his shoes and stuff like that? That was one of the...
Yeah, they would hear little footsteps, and they knew that, nobody was up in the attic, but they could hear distinct steps up there. And yeah, his shoes would be scuffed like he was walking around and stuff. They also claim that his face changes and he smiles. Now, mind you, look at the photograph. This basically looks like a freaking coconut with like a smile cut into it, okay?
That's a fair description.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And I'm not the first person to say that. It does look like a coconut with like beady eyes and like this mouth. And they've said that his face has actually changed. Like he'll smile, he'll frown, he'll do other little things. But
yeah, there's just something about like...
It's just...
He's not grotesque. It's like he's trying to be cute, but it's so rudimentary and so featureless. It really, like, his face, especially with the hat on, Reminds me a little bit of like a Silent Hill nurse almost because of how there's not really many
Yeah,
features.
there's
It's
not
just
many
very
features.
flat.
Yeah.
It's really creepy in this picture too. How like the reflection up here is like way creepier because it makes it look like he's frowning because his face is upside down from the top of the box. And then if you look at like this reflection, the chair looks like he has creepy little legs. Anyways, yeah, dolls are moral of the story is dolls are awful and you shouldn't own them. That's
Well, you can own them. Just make sure they're not, possessed by,
how do you know for sure?
I don't know, maybe buy a new thing.
Oh, okay. But like, what if some like crazy, like some of the claims, if this is someone like basically put a curse on this doll and they gave it to him for wrongdoing or whatever, retaliation, who knows? You go to like Walmart and you buy yourself a Barbie, and like, what if some crazy person was on the line that day and they're like, I'm gonna curse these Barbies, and now you have Barbies walking around your house, just crawling up your legs.
I mean, that would be kind of fun. You wouldn't have to actually play with the Barbie. Just
Yeah,
be
they
like,
play with
"Here,
you."
Just play yourself. Here's
Yeah.
some clothes.
I mean, that is, and like, man, I can't see. I don't have kids. But like, man, you get them like a doll, and then they start talking to that thing, and then like, just imagine that. They're talking to it, and you're like, oh, how cute. They're talking to their doll. And then you hear another voice.
Or the doll just turns and looks at you.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're not even in the same room. You just like listen and like, oh, how cute.
Well, that's what they said is like when
Sally.
he was
Right.
younger, they
I
would
know.
hear him talking and then somebody would respond. And
That's awful. As a parent, the second I hear that, I don't care how much little Jimmy cries, I'm burning the doll and I'm burning it in front of him. Like, so he knows. Like, even if he hears that thing talk, he doesn't respond to it. Like, no. That's what happens. Like, you don't support the behavior. And this guy was obviously pretty fucked up for his life. He kept this thing. And, like, he kept it, and his wife's like, no. And he's like, but he's my friend. And it's like, no.
He's like, but I like it.
I'm blaming the parents on this one. Bad move.
Yeah, why would you let... First off, you've got, like, sketchy servants giving your kid, like, this creepy-ass doll that's supposed to look like him.
I mean, that probably
Like,
explains it a little bit there. Yeah, servants. So they're like a rich family.
Yeah,
I mean, like, they probably didn't pay any attention to their kids.
they probably
They didn't.
Yeah,
They had other
probably
things
like,
to
a
do.
nanny
Like,
and
yeah.
whatnot.
They had like cool stuff to do, like that did not involve raising a child. They're like, here's your possessed doll. Talk to your nanny. Me and mommy are going, I don't know, to go eat some caviar on our yacht. Whatever you do when you are rich enough to have multiple servants.
And live on Key West, because living on Key West is not cheap.
No, living on Key West is not cheap. And risky. Because there's these things called hurricanes, and they'll eat you. They will eat your entire piece of land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Key West literally is like a mile wide. Like, it's small.
Robert the Doll's not going anywhere, though. He's going to be...
Like, I was able to walk from, like, one end of Key West.
Yeah,
to the
I
next
have not
end of
been to Key West. I would mildly like to go, and if I ever do go, I would like to venture to Robert the Doll, because I know there's a few different, like, haunty places that are...
Oh, yeah, they have ghost tours.
Yeah. That seems like a pretty big thing in, like, islandy places. Like, there's a lot of ghost tours in, like, Outer Banks and stuff like that, even.
Yeah.
The
Ernest Hemingway
lighthouses.
house with all the
Yep.
six-toed cats.
How many...
I'm not joking.
Wait, how many toes do cats actually normally have?
Well, they have 5.
Do they have 5?
Yeah. Yeah, but for some reason,
See, there's
Ernest
these-
Hemingway had, like, all these cats that... It had this cat that had extra toes.
Huh.
And this cat has bred, and so, like, this house is literally filled with cats. Like, if you're allergic to cats, I wouldn't be within, like, a block of this house.
Many
Like,
cats, huh?
I'd probably have to take a bottle of Benadryl to go in this house. But all the cats have 6 toes.
Maybe the cats messed with Robert the Doll, and he was like, have 6 toes.
Maybe.
I don't know,
he
maybe.
Robert the Doll cursed the
Six,
cats.
the curse of the 6-toed cats. Guess I never counted my cat's toes, because there's these little razor blades that are attached to him, and I just don't touch his paws.
And Finn's like, no.
Yeah.
Get away from my feet.
Yeah, he's moody.
Now I have to clean them. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know if I take, honestly, like, it's kind of funny. I don't generally, I don't believe in this kind of stuff, but I also don't like to tempt fate. I probably just wouldn't take a picture of him, even if I asked. Because you know if you, like, take a picture and then something bad happens in your life, you're going to blame yourself. Even
Right.
though more than likely it has nothing to fucking do with this doll that's in a box somewhere. But, like, you take a picture of him and then, like, your flight's canceled or, like, you get really ill or something, you're going to be like, damn it. I wouldn't have took a picture of that stupid doll.
Robert did it.
Yeah, you're going to blame Robert, right? But you're just going to blame yourself because you took the picture. So, like, you're in the clear. It's been way too many years. Anything bad that happens now, like, it's not Robert's
Yeah, no.
fault. But
Well, nothing happened. I mean, besides the fact that my friend's not married anymore. But I mean, that was for
it's
the
not always a
best.
bad thing. Yeah,
Yeah, no, that was for the best.
that's not always.
Totally for the best.
Yeah, generally.
Yeah.
Well, life isn't easy, kids. I wa- I'm
So
not-
here's a little segue. So if you're familiar with the Osbournes, they actually when Jack and Ozzy had their world tour show, they actually went and visited Robert the Doll. And Jack actually bought one of the stuffed. They actually have stuffed Robert the Dolls that you can purchase. Comes complete with a little chair to put it in, just like the chair he's sitting in. They're only about this big. They're not that big, but he bought one, and Ozzy was terrified of it. Like, he would throw that thing. He's like,
I don't know if I'd want it.
He
I
tried
don't
to
think I'd want
drive over it with the
kinda want
bus and like.
I kind of want it for a
everything.
shelf.
Yeah.
Kind of want it for a shelf. Did you mention, like, all the letters of people basically, like, asking Robert for...
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
forgiveness, yeah.
Yeah, people have sent him numerous letters saying, "Please forgive me. I took your picture without asking. Please make everything stop."
That's harrowing. And another reason I wouldn't even take his picture.
Like, they don't even have half of the letters up. Like, they have them stored in a back room.
And I mean, a
because
lot
they
of it's
get so
obviously...
many.
Again, it's just people's superstition. Like, again, they probably took a picture and then something bad happened. And they're, like, assuming it's the possessed doll, and now they're begging for forgiveness. I mean, it's... We're not going to take a deep dive into that kind of conversation, but that's the way people's mentality generally works, is we're always looking for an excuse, we're looking for reasons.
Yeah.
And so that's how a lot of, like, these curses with objects or anything happens, is you're told something bad happens to someone when they're associated with an object, and they say it, and then it happens to one more person, and then it basically is now a thing.
Yeah.
And so if you see it, it could be a year later, and then, like, someone dies that you love, you're like, fucking shouldn't have took a picture of that doll. Like, you know, that's just how our minds work. We're crazy. We're crazy. Life doesn't make any sense. It's violent and it's evil, and we're just like, we don't know what's making sense, so... You know, I mean, the Greeks, there's the guy that's riding on the chariot, and his son is, I don't know what's going on. You know, we don't know what's happening. Well, he's just here for the ride, man.
Yeah.
Do you ever just sit there at night and just be filled with existential dread?
Oh my
Because I think that's what's going to happen to me tonight.
You're gonna be terrified that there's gonna be a doll in your room. You're gonna wake up
No!
in the middle of the night. There's just gonna be like a creepy ass doll in the corner
I mean, maybe.
petting Finn.
The
cat.
cat, he's going to find the doll, and he's going to bring it in. Finn will... No, see, that's one thing. I think if I bring, like, a haunted object home, I'll probably be so scared of the cat. Like,
I mean,
I'm pretty sure I have haunted objects already in my home.
yeah, like that tribal mask.
The tribal mask, yeah, that I found at a thrift shop, and I just purchased it because I thought it looked cool, and they don't know really where it came from. Just some guy sold it to him, and they thought it looked cool, and now he lives with me.
Hmm?
What is Abzuzu? That's what I call
Abzuzu.
him. People will ask me, what's that? And I respond, the house demon. And they go, what? And I smile. And then that's really all they need.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know.
is.
It is my house demon.
House demon.
And then I have this weird fucking skull that Kim bought me from a psychic fair that moves.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird because, yeah, it was from
Yeah.
Conneaut. That was from Conneaut.
Yeah, so who knows what's going on with that thing. It's cool, though. It's up on a shelf where my cat can't get it, but it moves around. They have, like, a sword from, like, World War II that my grandpa got off of someone that he won against. That's there.
Samurai sword.
Yeah, it's a samurai sword. So, yeah, I have some things that that are there.
It has the souls of all the people that were killed with it.
That's a story, right?
Yeah.
What's that from?
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it is. Well, now that we've gone somewhere else entirely,
Segue over here.
yeah, so make sure you stay tuned for the next couple dolls. The next one's going to be a really creepy, it's from Japan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really from Japan. It might be the most awful one that we would talk about. So make sure it's really awful to me. Not even necessarily evil, but just really, really creepy. And there's some things that are combined in that story that just unease me. Japanese shit, when it comes to horror, is so much worse than ours. Like, watch, like, The Ring from, like, Japan. And just that stuff, just their version of horror is so eerie. Is, like, the best word I can use. It's a different type. And saying that, there definitely will be eventually an episode where we kind of go into a little bit of Japanese folklore, because there's some real crazy stuff. And we've talked briefly about certain things in the past. I think there might have been some stuff in the Christmas episode we did. But, yes. Let us know in the comments, if you're watching the video form of this, what you would like to see us do.
Yes.
If there's any particular type of subject you would like to cover, if you'd like us to be, like, interviewing people, or just any kind of content that you would like to see us do. Like I said, of course, make sure you like and subscribe. Also, click the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos, including the doll videos that are coming up. We have a lot of other content coming. You should watch our 2021 recap video. We kind of talk about some of the stuff we're going to be doing there, and we do a recap of the year. It's kind of just a fun video. It's kind of more relaxed, where we just talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about for a while. And we have other ghost hunts and stuff like that coming up. We actually go to real haunted places and do it instead of just sitting at the table and talking about creepy stuff. We actually go find the real creepy stuff. But as always, thank you very much for watching and or listening, and we will see you in the next episode.
Bye.